Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
So our poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center is, which record means the most to you? The 73 that stands in the National League with 2 admitted steroid users and 1 that isn't. More than 61, the initial Roger Maris record, or the American League 61. And last I saw, it's like close to 70%, Darren, saying that they are standing by the 61 rather than the 73. But do you think Major League Baseball will go back and expunge those records and recognize whatever Aaron Judge goes on to hit?
I don't know if they will. I mean, if they haven't at this point, what's going to make them change now, right? They've already seemed to have established that they're okay leaving those numbers at the top of the record book, right? And for me, I'd vote no. Like, I vote that 73 is still the number. It really is, because it happened.
Oof.
Do I like it? No, maybe not, because it wasn't clean. But I've always know that happened. So 61 just doesn't feel right. 62 doesn't feel like it, because it's like, yeah, I did it clean, but some guy actually hit more than me. So now to really feel like I'm the king, I got to go out and hit 74. It's just because I've seen it done.
The poll question is, which home run record means the most to you? Not about which should stand or which should be expunged. So maybe the 73 means more to you. I don't know. But I voted for 61 because it was clubbed by a guy that's not on steroids. So
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
first game of the week is the Saskatoon Roughriders at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Bombers are favored by 8. Are you taking the deal or not?
I'm taking the deal.
Deal for me, too. I think Winnipeg will beat them by 8 or more. Ottawa Red Blacks. They're at the BC Lions. And BC is favored by 7.5. The head coach of BC is 3-0 against the team that fired him. The BC is favored by 7.5. Deal or no deal?
I'm going to take the deal.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. It's a thing that we call Football Friday, and welcome to the RP Show, everybody. Do you notice something new? I'll let you think about that for a second. It's a big day, Football Friday here, as I mentioned, here on the RP Show, and we got a lot of football to get to. Plus, here in the warm-up, our favorite other topics as well. NHL preseason we'll get to. God's team won last night. Apparently, the Blue Jays did something exciting. Let's bring in the Moose, Darren Moose DuPont, as I give you the roadmap of today's show. It includes Matt Baker of the BC Lions, their digital host. They're home to Ottawa tonight. Wacey Rabbit will join us here on this National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. You see Darren and I both have our orange shirts on. Wacey Rabbit, assistant coach of the Saskatoon Blades, longtime hockey pro. He'll be joining us in hour 2. And I appreciate Wacey for doing that, to talk about what it means to him and his people. So we're looking forward to that. Darren, before we go any further, I just got to say, our COO, Lee Genier, is all hot and heavy over the fact the Blue Jays clinched a playoff berth, which he should, but it is Football Friday, and I'm telling you, I'm sitting here in Tua Central, and we're going to talk about that. And it transcends not just the National Football League, the Canadian Football League, not even just amateur football, contact sports around the globe. What happened on Thursday Night Football last night? So, yeah, it's not just the hottest topic here, but it's a big one that we're going to get in today. And how are you?
Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Good football game last night. Unfortunately, overshadowed by Tua, but yeah, I'm great this morning.
Our VP of Sim Events telling us, Nelson, he says you got your ears lowered, RP. No, it's not the haircut. I had that days ago. It's this new mic stand. I went to Guitar Center yesterday, and these guys just geek out over this. I like it. It's awesome. Viewer Tim Weeb says, are you not on Game Plus today? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm on the air right now. Is that good enough for you? I don't know where we're airing. Let's go. Can you hit the quick 6? Can you hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan? Please and thank you. Again, I don't know. So if there's a problem with Game Plus, can we look into it? I know what I'm doing. They weren't asking Tua what network the show was airing on yesterday. He was out trying to win a football game for the Dolphins. So let me say this. Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa suffered a second frightening injury in 5 days when he was carted off the field in Thursday night's 27-15 loss at Cincinnati. And many want to know why he was playing at all. Tua and the team claimed the first scary injury on Sunday when he struggled to walk after that big hit against the Bills was actually a concern with his back. His swift return to the field, including Thursday night's Week 4 opener, still prompted a joint review by the NFL and NFL Players Association. He was carried off on a stretcher Thursday and hospitalized with concussion symptoms after being slammed to the turf. I will say Alain Poupart, who covers the Dolphins for Sports Illustrated, is going to be with us off the top of hour 2. And in this warm-up, we're going to get the NHL preseason results and Pat's game and Canada West and all the rest. But I gotta get into this because I raced home from the gym this morning. Great workout at Orange Theory. I flipped on Get Up on ESPN. I couldn't wait to hear the analysis of what happened to Tua last night. And all I saw, and stick with me, Darren, and if people are upset, I don't care. I think it's why this show's so popular, because I'm going to say it the way that I feel that it is. The players were on there, in some cases, choked up and tearing up that the NFL doesn't care about them. I'm not going to name who those players are, but it was, I'm getting choked up. In 15 years, it won't be the NFL team around your bedside. It's going to be your wife and kids. It's going to be your family. The NFL doesn't care about the players. And I got enraged because I was like, you wouldn't be on that panel if it wasn't for the National Football League. You had a choice. And we're going to probably spend this entire segment here on this. And it's a little callous, and we'll get to all of that. I need to walk myself back here a little bit. People don't understand what's going on, and to a certain extent, I wonder if the players even understand what's going on with them. It is a business, so the Dolphins said Tua cleared concussion protocol, and the caveat, none of us really know all of the ins and the outs about this. The Miami Dolphins, we'd love to think are above board, but let's be honest, their owner's currently suspended for tampering. They couldn't prove the tanking allegations that were brought forth against him by Brian Flores, the coach they fired. So the Dolphins kind of have a spotty track record with the truth. So let's just say that. But for the players to say that they're upset and the NFL doesn't care about them, this is news. Is this honestly news? And I know that the CFL is going to be brought into this in a much more favorable light. But in 30-plus years in sports, pro sports for me, I've seen doctors quit over this. Like, quit. I'm out. I've seen people fired for not fudging medical reports. I won't do that. I can't do that. It's against you're fired. I've seen that. I've seen it all. So Rex Ryan blurts out on the air this week on ESPN when the Dolphins said that Tua was okay and passed concussion protocol and his problems was his back, not his head. Rex goes, they're lying. Why would Rex say that, Darren? Because he knows teams do that. I've seen presidents, coaches, owners stand at a podium and lie. I've seen it. And I'm sitting there in the front row of the news conference going, he's lying. So in the case of Tua, I'm kind of taking all different sides on this other than to say, players, you had a choice. And I know you've got thoughts on this. And for sure our viewers do too, and they're welcome to chime in. But you had a choice. There are Pro Football Hall of Famers, CFL Hall of Famers that have complained to me about their injuries after the fact. And I have said to them, would you do it again? And they turn to me and say, in a heartbeat. I'll just relate it to this in my career. I was whining to my recovery coach why I wasn't in the National Hockey League because I felt I paid my dues. I'm better than a lot of guys that are there. Why aren't I in the NHL? And he goes, stop. You had a choice. You had to pick between football and hockey, and you picked football. So stop bitching about it. And that day, August of 2017 in Montreal, I stopped bitching about it because he was right. I made the choice to pursue football rather than the National Hockey League, so stop bitching. I'm not saying the players are bitching, but you made a choice. And that's not entirely what's going on with the Tua situation, but it's a lot of what's going on with the Tua situation. So that's mine. That's my opening thoughts. What are yours?
Tough situation, a really tough situation. The biggest concern for me is, in this whole thing is that it was such a short turnaround a game, right? If they're lying about Tua's injury on Sunday and they got to play again on Thursday, now you're not just, putting a guy back in the game who's had a head injury. You're not trying to get him back on the field just a few days later. So that's the part that's tough, but you're right. Like, I compare it to the guys that around here that go to work in the mines, in the potash mines, and they go underground and they breathe in the air and they get danger pay. Not a lot, but they get some danger pay for that, right? And, when the NFL athletes are making millions and millions of dollars, the injuries go along with it. But we do know that the NFL can take bigger and better steps to make sure they're not putting their players in harm's way when they know better. And this is one of those situations.
This is not absolving the National Football League. I'm sure in a lot of ways they have blood on their hands. There's no two ways about that. But we were all watching that game in the CFL with the Montreal Alouettes. I can't even remember who they were playing. But in the waning moments on the last-minute drive, the Alouettes quarterback, Trevor Harris, gets hit high, gets taken out of the game. Vernon Adams comes in, and the Alouettes don't win. And I was sitting there going, put him back in. Doesn't everybody want him back in? There was hardly any outcry at all across the CFL from the media, the players, the fans, that Trevor Harris was taken out, which tells me the CFL is a lot more serious about player safety than the National Football League is. So, and then on the hit of Tua last night, did you feel that it was overly egregious? I mean, in both cases, these weren't headshots. In both cases with Tua, Sunday and Thursday night, it was his head rattling off the grass/turf. Okay? And you saw his fingers tense up. I had a first responder from Vancouver write me and say, Rod, I've attended to several car crashes. This is a sign of severe brain trauma with Tua. And I'm like, I don't know. Now we're going around all over the place with different opinions. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Tua, from what I understand, went home with the team on Thursday night after the game. I don't know if it was the team flight or not, but he went home. He's now convalescing in Miami. And it's just, it's ugly to see. But, back to Tua, they love him here. I talk about it almost every day. They love him, they love him, they love him. And what did Joe Rose, the color guy, say on the air yesterday that I listened to him? He goes, Tua wants to play tonight. He's probably not 100%, but he knows he's got a reputation as being an injured player. And he's the captain on this team now, so he's going to play. Guys, I think he's going to play tonight. And he did. And then this happens. How could you not love the kid? So I guess I'll ask you. And I'll ask you can never leave it up to the kid. You can never leave it up to the player. And again, nothing against the Miami Dolphins, but they don't exactly have a track record of truth and integrity. They don't. So do you believe that the fact that they said he passed concussion protocol and was eligible and healthy enough to play Thursday, do you believe that's the truth?
No, and it doesn't appear to be that way now, especially when we see the aftermath. I mean, 24 hours ago, you asked me that, I don't really have an argument against it, right? But then we see this, and you're right, it wasn't a direct headshot. It wasn't the most egregious hit, but the effects were bad. And they just kind of, all conclusions lead to that he was not close to 100% and shouldn't have played in the game last night.
Kevin, the medium's watching in Alberta. He says they need to take this out of the team's hands and take player safety more seriously. I believe the doctors that were used by the Dolphins were independent, not paid by the Miami Dolphins. They were an independent medical advice clearing him. So there's that. That's what I've read. Don, our Navy friend, says concussions are a black art of diagnosis. A person never really knows if they're fully recovered or not. It comes down to choices, though, and the lure of millions of dollars will slant the choice. Carlos in Indianapolis says players are also willing to be more aggressive to return to play because the next man up is always there. Ding, 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 ding. Tell him what he's won, Bob. The course the kids want to play. To be honest, that's why I have so much respect for Zach Collaros. In whatever playoff game that was, Bomber fans tell me, Rider fans tell me, what was the game that Zach Collaros was playing for the Riders that he pulled himself out of the West Final either the night before or the morning of, because he didn't feel right and he didn't want to hurt the team. That's highly rare. I think it might have been 2018. I don't remember. It was the last game I ever called as voice of the Rough Riders. But this is where we're at now. It's a major conundrum. And to be honest, a lot of this, I blame the fans. A lot of this, I blame the owners because it's about winning. It's about winning. It's about winning. They had a chance with Tua Thursday night to win. Well, how many times have we said it's a significant drop-off to Teddy Bridgewater if Tua's out? And they lost the game. Guys' jobs are on the line. Coaches, how many times have we said it's about winning? It's about winning. It's about winning. It's all that matters is winning. All that matters is winning. They'll lie at any cost for the chance to win a football game. Who's at fault for that? There's no leniency from anybody, not from the fans, not from the owners. Winning is king, and that's all, and this is what you get.
Yeah, it is. And you look at Teddy Bridgewater last night, he made a couple of decent plays. He's been a starter in this league. So when Teddy Bridgewater comes in and plays well, and if he does lead them to a win, which he didn't, had him close for a little bit, Tua's looking over his shoulder. Tua's already had to listen to Deshaun Watson all offseason. He's had to hear about Tom Brady all offseason. And all he needs is to go down with an injury, and then Teddy Bridgewater comes in and plays well, and picks up right where he left off, and then all he's going to hear is, Tua's just a system quarterback. We can put anybody in this offense. So he wanted to play at the expense of his health, I'm sure, because, he's got that fear of job security, and it's a dangerous place to be.
Phil Kershaw watching, former chairman of the CFL Board of Governors. Thank you for chiming in, Phil. He's in Victoria, BC. He says Tua shouldn't have gone back in the game on Sunday and definitely shouldn't have played Thursday night. The NFL needs to strengthen concussion protocol, period. And that's my point. I turned on ESPN's daytime programming today expecting to have some fantastic analysis of what went on Thursday night, and all I saw was players upset that the NFL doesn't care about them. I'm like, there's nothing new here. It hasn't changed. It's not going to change. And by the way, I ran it by Darren and Lee in our pre-show meeting if it was okay if I talked about these things, and you said as long as I don't out who the people were, the teams were, or even the leagues involved with the doctors being fired and trainers or whatever, quitting. And I didn't. And to give you an idea, I was in the owner's suite at an Arizona Coyotes game 5-6 years ago, and a guy came up to me and he said, I understand that you're in the Canadian Football League. And I said, yeah, at the time I was. He goes, what's their stance on concussions? And I said, why do you ask? He says, well, I'm the top neurosurgeon at the Mayo Clinic here in Scottsdale, and my counterpart and I are working on a study relating to pro football, CTE, and concussions, and I'm just wondering what the CFL says about it. I said, they say it's inconclusive. Same as the National Hockey League. They largely deny it at that time. And he goes, well, you can't deny it, right? You know that. I said, I'm just telling you their stance. The NFL at one time was far less serious about concussions than they are now. So anyways, I knew that we'd talk through this opening block on it. When we come back, we'll preview tonight's games in the Canadian Football League. We'll talk about last night's games in the National Hockey League. The Blue Jays are going to the playoffs. Start spreading the news. Maybe we'll go to Toronto for a playoff game as Lee's promised. We'll be right back. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, 24-hour sports radio, streaming now at rodpeterson.com, and your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
All right, welcome back, everybody. On a beautiful day, we have managed to dodge the storm. Thank you for all the well wishes and so forth. That Hurricane Ian cut a swath north of us here in South Florida, and that very lucky for us. Let's bring the Moose in. Moose, I've said many times, you wouldn't have wanted to know me past 7.5 years ago before I quit drinking and got sober. Days like the last couple of days would drive me around the bend, and I'll tell you why. We're moving on from the Tua thing for now, but Alain Poupart coming up from Sports Illustrated Miami. He covers the Dolphins. He'll be with us in hour 2. Number one, I don't know how much the tickets are for the banquet that I'm speaking at with Stu Gribson. I don't know. Call Lampman, okay? And I'm going to do this one time for this guy because he's a good guy. Mike Jen Austin says he's got a couple. He writes in and says he's got a couple tickets for the Buccaneers and the Chiefs on Sunday in Tampa. And if I knew anybody who wanted them. So I'm like, he can't go. Season ticket holder. And what do you want for him? I thought he was offering them to me. I'm like, maybe we're going to Tampa on Sunday. He's like, I paid $340 each, but I'd take whatever I can get.
How about I'll give you a shout out on the show.
Right. So if he wants to, if anybody wants to go and pay $340 each or best offer, OBO. I'm doing it one time because Mike's a good guy. And he actually came over to Vero Beach, Florida for a rider training camp we had one time. He's a good guy. But that's it. I'm telling you, we're not Ticketmaster. We're not swap and shop. We're not Tradio. We're not the flea market here. So as the show, you know how that would drive me nuts? Rod, I got a couple tickets on the 55-yard line for the Riders and Bombers. Can you help me sell them? No. But I used to. I don't know how much tickets are for Lampman. We're not Tradio. Or swap and shop.
I was going to say, anyways, what did Rod Kittle used to do on the morning show, right? And I think they did them on your station,
boots
the auction
salutes,
in the morning.
Boots and salutes, and whatever it is. I don't know. So if you want tickets, DM me. I'm going to do it one time because Mike's a good guy. But that tells you how the show's growing, right? Now we got tickets for the Buccaneers if you want them. That's pretty cool. So to the NHL, because I was blessed to be in an NHL arena last night. I'll start with what went on in Vancouver. Ryan Donato scored the game-winning goal with just under 40 seconds to go in overtime to cap the Seattle Kraken's 4-3 comeback victory over the Vancouver Canucks in preseason play. Vancouver went up 3-1 in the opening period, courtesy of Andrei Kuzmenko, who scored twice, and Tanner Pearson. For the Kraken, Cole Lind of Shaunavon Sask, glad you asked, and John Hayden scored in the third to tie things up before Donato's heroics in overtime for Seattle. Here in Sunrise, the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Florida Panthers 5-2. It was like the first day of school, Moose. I was more excited to see Stormin' Norman, the guy who runs the buffet before the game. He's doing fine, by the way. And I said, Happy New Year, Norman. He had no idea what I was talking about. And he's like, oh, hey, you're good. Saw my guy Andrew Imber, the public address announcer for the Panthers. Saw all on my social media if you want to see it. Randy Mulder, the Panthers color guy, who's coming to our NHL preview show live October 11th from the Pompano Beach House. Other than that, here's my report. Matthew Tkachuk is just fine. He wasn't on the top line in 5-on-5, but he's playing PP1. And he's on the left side of Alexander Barkov. And while people in Calgary, now they're all trashing Tkachuk on his way out of town. Take that for however you want. They say he can't skate. He's not Bobby Orr, okay? But he gets there. And had some great shots on goal on the power play. He's in front of the net. They're putting it on his tape. He's got guys that can put it on his tape. Matthew Tkachuk's going to be just fine. And when I tell you, Moose, he's going to be on the left side of the power play, and Barkov will be at center. That's exactly what happened. Now, they lost 5-2. Sergei Bobrovsky wasn't his best game. They extended Spencer Knight this week, so I think they're trying to move Bob out, get out from underneath his $10 million a year contract. But Carolina won 5-2, and it was great seeing a couple veterans grads in Ethan Bear and Zach Sawchenko in goal. Elsewhere, Winnipeg beat Montreal 4-3. New Jersey Devils over the Rangers 5-2. Minnesota beat Dallas 5-2. The Blues over the Blue Jackets 4-2. And Nashville blanked Tampa 2-0. Do you, sir, have any NHL notes before we move into the CFL?
No, let's keep rolling. I just love seeing the shots from inside the arena again. You know, when you're down on the ice level, when you're up in the press box, it just feels like hockey's back. It's getting crisp in the air here, so best time of year.
It is. Spring's still the best time of the year in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and will always be. But this is pretty darn good, too. And, I had a great time in the arena last night at FLA Live, year 2, covering the Florida Panthers, and thank you, Panthers, for giving me a season seat in your press box. They're first class, just like the Flames. So to the CFL, point 3, because it is a football Friday. They've adjusted the line a little bit. Not a lot, Darren, but I wonder what you think about tonight's game. Sask at Winnipeg. The Blue Bombers now favored by 7. I think that's a change from earlier in the week, but it doesn't really matter. Bombers are rolling. They're a juggernaut, man. What's your take on this? How do we expect it to go? I don't think Sask's going to win. I'm going to be watching it. But I don't think it's going to be close.
No, they'll always be competitive, I think, ish. I mean, we saw it, the Banjo Bowl was really competitive. The Labor Day Classic was competitive when these two teams played. And the Banjo Bowl really wasn't that competitive. Do I think the Riders can keep it close? Yeah, I do. I think this could be maybe a single-digit win. I don't know, but we're probably looking at, a 10 to 12-point Winnipeg win, I think. So it doesn't change anything to the line move for me. Winnipeg is still Winnipeg, and they want to be rolling heading into the playoffs. They don't want to take their foot off the gas, and they won't.
Similar to these other games that involve Calgary and BC, they don't want to take days off even though they've clinched. These are exciting games the rest of the way. But, it's not just about the games. I don't think people understand how great media coverage is outside the games, like ours. Our show, right? Our show complements the leagues. And, my point on that is Rob Vanstone's column in the Leader Post that aired yesterday or was posted yesterday. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, Craig Dickinson, the head coach of the Riders, has apologized to his team for saying we're not very good. You see what Vanstone said? Players should be apologizing to him. Vanstone's a beauty.
He's right.
I know. So is this game tonight? Is this game tonight the swing game for Saskatchewan? Like if they go in there and just get obliterated by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, which is what they're expecting in Winnipeg, and the Rider Nation's not. They're sticking behind their team. I still am friends with a lot of people and follow people on social media from Saskatchewan. They're going to the game. They're going for a party, and good on them. But if the Riders get speedboated, motorboated, is it over? Is it over? Because Vanstone thinks it's over already.
Yeah, well, that's a different question. Do I think it's over already? Probably. I mean, the magic number is 3 to get in, but you only have 4 games. And I look at it this way. When you're looking at the 4 games and you're looking at the rest of the season, Winnipeg is not a game you're circling. It's a game that you're going to win. It's not one of the magic 3. So to me, what happens in this game is obsolete. It doesn't matter because you're either already out of it, and if you do have a chance to get 3 wins or 2 wins and a loss by Ottawa and Hamilton or whatever, it's not happening this week. So to me, this week is a nothing week for the Riders because you're not circling this. If they win, it could be a swing game the other way. You know when you win one of those that you're not supposed to win, and now all of a sudden you're on a roll? That's what this could be for Saskatchewan.
Our CFL coverage, our Rider coverage specifically for Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. I'm going to move along from the Ottawa at BC game because it is going to be previewed next segment when Matt Baker joins us, the Lions digital host. So we'll preview that game next segment. A quick one from the Western Hockey League. How about this one? Connor Bedard capped a 2-goal night with the game winner in overtime, leading the Regina Pats to a 4-3 victory over the Edmonton Oil Kings Thursday night. It was the lone game in the dub. Tanner Howe recorded a game-high 4 points behind 2 goals and 2 assists for the Pats, who are now 2-1. Oil Kings are winless in 3 after winning the WHL last year. Bedard also had an assist. I don't know. When the guy wrote in yesterday and said, junior hockey is not my guilty pleasure, I mean, I was defensive about that. Was I correct in being defensive, or am I just too defensive when people take shots at me?
Well, you are defensive when people take shots at you, for sure. I mean, self-awareness on that. But
not sure if he was taking a shot at me or not.
But no, I don't think he was taking a shot. I think he, when I kind of the definition of things you don't really want to tell other people because they'll look down on you. They think it's inferior. He's like, I don't think it's inferior. I'll go tell everybody. It's not guilty to me. I'll just go string it from the rooftops and I don't care who knows. So it's not my guilty pleasure. For him, it's just his pleasure.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was thinking about it overnight, and I'm like, maybe I was too defensive, but people don't need to understand when it comes to junior hockey, CFL talk, university football, which we'll get into next hour. Our biggest sponsor, corporate partner, is a betting company, Bet Regal. So you tell me what they'd rather have us talking about. Let's talk about the dollars wagered on the National Football League versus the Western Hockey League or the Canadian Football League. You tell me. Or even college football. It's a business decision. So, and for those that missed yesterday, I said the definition of a guilty pleasure isn't something you do that you're ashamed to tell anybody. A guilty pleasure is you're into something that not as many other people are. At least that's the Oxford World Dictionary definition of it. That's why junior hockey is by guilty pleasure. I love it, but not enough people do. I'm not going to go much further down that road, but next hour when you join us, Moose, we will talk about the Canada West slate. You have the Regina game, is that correct, this weekend?
That's right.
Okay. Well, that'll be exciting, obviously. And the Bisons are home. Sorry, the Bisons are at Saskatchewan tonight at the Huskies. They're off to their best start since 2006, Saskatchewan, and the Bisons are coming off the mat. So listen, I'm following it very closely. We'll save that for next hour. You'll be with us, right, Moose?
You bet. See you then.
Okay, let's do a sports update before we break and bring in Bake's takes from the BC Lions. The Toronto Blue Jays will look to snap their 2-game skid when they host the Boston Red Sox tonight. Toronto secured a spot in the postseason for the first time in 2 years on Thursday, despite not playing. Boston's 5-3 win over the Baltimore Orioles allowed the Jays to clinch a playoff berth. Alek Manoah goes to the mound tonight against Nick Pivetta. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators will clash for a third time this preseason tonight. The two teams went 1-1 in their split squad games on Saturday. Toronto shut out the Montreal Canadiens to the tune of 3-0 on Wednesday, while Ottawa fell 5-3 to the Winnipeg Jets Tuesday. The Edmonton Oilers will be opening their doors at Rogers Place to the Calgary Flames tonight in preseason play. The two sides met on Wednesday, where Calgary took a 4-0 victory at the Saddledome. It was Flames Vets versus Oilers No Names. I'm sure the script will be flipped tonight. This sports update for Edo Japan. With more than 160 restaurants nationwide, Edo Japan is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated for more than 40 years. We're going to Vancouver next on a CFL game day. It's the RP Show on Game Plus Television, available all across Alberta and BC on TELUS Optic Cable Channel 924 in HD. Also your favorite podcast platform, and on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks, and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Fall is for football, and we're talking about it all today on the RP Show. NFL, CFL, Canada West, NCAA. We'll get to the comments in a moment, maybe next segment in Viewer Takeover. Appreciate you. A lot of Lions and Stampeders fans are watching right now. And for that, let's go out to Vancouver. Matt Baker joins us, Lions digital host. He's been with that team a long, long time. All right, Bakes, I'm not going to ask you any betting advice tonight, but please tell me, Ottawa in town. Nice shirt, by the way. Today, Halloween goes very well for the BC Lions. The National Day of Truth and Reconciliation goes very well for the BC Lions. What are you guys doing for that game tonight, by the way? I know you are. Yeah, thank you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Rod, as you know, September 30th has become an important day in this country, and really the second annual day for the BC Lions to do what is called our Orange Shirt Day game. And I see it, those watching, John O'Flynn and Company in North Van, I know you're watching, you're coming tonight. Get there early. First 10,000 fans get this orange T-shirt. Every child matters. And new for this year, Rod, this logo will be on the team's helmets tonight. So a couple of new wrinkles this year, the helmet being a big part of it. And make sure you watch because these helmets look very sharp. I saw them in action at practice. I don't like to judge logos and colors until I see them in action. And this will be cool to see tonight. So yeah, very special day. I know, like everyone else, we were shocked. Getting ready for training camp last year when the confirmation of the unmarked graves story was really picking up. And the fact that the Kamloops residential school site is literally 5 minutes from our training camp site, that obviously hits extra home for us as a football club. I know there were plans to visit the site last year, but unfortunately COVID protocols and the fires, the smoke, the air quality kind of hampered that idea. So hopefully one day we'll get to the residential school site. But yeah, we're definitely honored to do our part in recognizing and respecting this important day.
Oh man, I could sit and talk to you about this all day. Good for you guys for doing that. The Lions are on the cutting edge, and you and I've talked about this. I don't think you guys get nearly enough credit for the things that you do. And but with this, good job tonight. A couple of days after the Cowasis graves were found just outside of Regina, I was golfing with the chief a couple of days later, and I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And he goes, we knew. So yeah, that's why we're doing this. So good on you guys. But I want to talk ball, but I could talk about you guys' gunmetal helmets, the Casey Printers vintage, whatever that was, which was cool, which you guys still wear, I think, from time to time. Like, you guys got some cool jerseys and helmets over the years. Would you not agree?
You know, I absolutely agree. And it's funny you bring up the gunmetal, Roddy. You'll remember this. You know, the last time we wore the gunmetals was the infamous guaranteed win night in 2014. That was the last time. So maybe it's fitting that that was I don't want to say one way or another. I know our owner Amar Doman has talked about this in public several times. He's working on something. So whether that's this year, I don't know. We only have one more home game regular season-wise after tonight. So who knows? Maybe 2023 brings about something as far as an alternate jersey. But The gunmetal was one of the best things I think we ever did. I mean, that got people talking Lions football all day the next day, middle of summer. Of course, kind of have the market to ourselves along with the wipes. And yeah, unfortunately, they just never continued with it for some reason. I'm not saying the guaranteed win and the fallout from that was the reason for it, but we still get people daily, weekly on social media, bring back the gunmetals. So I know for a broadcaster's perspective for you, maybe it wasn't good as far as reading names and numbers. But
I've
I'm not
seen
going to rule
worse.
anything out. Perhaps next season. That's a first world problem. Yeah, broadcasters and their
well,
ability
I've
to
seen way harder jerseys to read than that. I was a fan, if it means anything. Yeah, and by the way, with Amar, I just think he's cooler than the other side of the pillow, man. And I've told him that. And obviously, you think the same way. Are the good times back? Like, what was the Selly like when you guys clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2018?
Well, a little subdued, to be honest with you, because it came in a losing cause. But it's big for the organization. No playoffs since 2018. I'll go a step further. No Western playoffs since 2016. A win tonight guarantees the Lions would be in a top 3 position in the West. And I think that's a big deal. I know you hear the odd person say, oh, crossing over maybe is the way to go. I'm not so sure about that, because I think Toronto is a legitimate contender. Montreal maybe peaking at the right time. And it's hard to go east and win 2 in a row. There's a reason it's never happened in the history of the crossover, right? So that, and I think it's big for this organization to make the western side of the bracket. Magic numbers 4 to clinch a home playoff game. That's going to take some work still after losing last week. Still a very small window for first place, Rod. This team wins out, it would get first place. Would have to beat Winnipeg twice. Very, very tall order. But I'll go one game at a time. Being on the western side of it and the chance to get a home game for Mr. Doman and all he's done in the community here, trying to do our best to generate some more interest and expand the product, that will be huge for this club.
Well, they tell me in Vancouver, they obviously know about the Lions. They've had them since 1954, but they'll really only support a winner. So good luck with that, because clearly you're on your way as a franchise. Nelson Hackowich, our VP of Sim Events, writes in, he says, shout out to the BC Lions and Bakes for doing one of the best jobs taking fans behind the scenes and engaging fans of all teams in the league. The league needs more of it. And as to why no teams ever advanced to the Grey Cup via the crossover, let's talk about that another day, Bakes, because I love it. Maybe we'll bring in the football guys and they'll have the answer for it over us. But when I read the game notes for this one tonight, Rick Campbell's never lost to Ottawa since he left, 3-0. Do you see a little fire in his eyes leading up to these games against the Red Blacks, or what? Be honest.
I will be honest. Knowing Rick like I do, and I know you've had him on the program quite a few times, even since he came here, he'll never admit to it. He's business. He's a football coach. He's all business. You know, he'll come out and tell you that it's about team success and not individual success. And I believe him. I believe him when he says that. But that being said, don't really know what he's thinking. Maybe there's a little more bounce in his step when they take on the Red Blacks. So, yeah, he'll never admit that. I mean, who knows? I mean, it'd have to be personal for anybody, at least a little bit, even if they don't admit it. But he says all the right things. He handles himself the right way. And he said it to the team yesterday. Listen, regardless of who we're playing, regardless of what their record is, getting to 10-4 here tonight would be a very big deal. And then again, another one from the first time since 2016 file here, Ruddy. Chance to clinch the team's first winning season since the Jonathan Jennings year. So, yeah, he'll never admit it. He'll never make it about him. But who knows what he's thinking? Maybe there's a little extra motivation from his side. You never know.
Well, good luck with it. I'm going to try my best to stay up and watch as much of it as I can out here on the East Coast, Bakes. But from our viewers, Kevin the Medium says, my dream job doing anything, working with the BC Lions. Maybe they need a medium. I'll let you guys sort that out. He's been very good for me.
Send
Jeff
me an
the
email.
Stamps.
There you go. Send me an email.
DM him. From Jeff the Stamps fan, he says, bring back the creamsicle orange jerseys. I just feel like the Lions have so much to play with there. You guys do a great job. A lot of options, and it's just awesome. Bakes, we do have to run. Thanks for coming on.
No, I was going to say,
yeah?
very quickly, the creamsicle orange ones went with this helmet, I think. Is that the 80s jerseys? Is that what he's talking about? That's sharp.
I don't know. It's iconic. They're all iconic, and Bakes, as are you. Have fun tonight, buddy.
Thanks, Roddy. Always a pleasure.
Matt Baker from the BC Lions. Viewer Takeover is next. Coming up in hour 2, Alain Poupart. He covers the Dolphins for Sports Illustrated. We're going to talk more about Tua and also Wacey Rabbit on this National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It's the RP Show's Football Friday on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Smoky in the air, it's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
All right, it's the final segment of Hour 1. It's what we call Viewer Takeover, and that means I will talk about whatever you want to talk about. The Moose will be back next hour, and as you heard, Alain Poupart from Sports Illustrated to talk about Tua and the Dolphins and Wacey Rabbit of the Saskatoon Blades. So I do have a full phone of text messages here. 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Where do I start? Stephen in North Dakota. I like this one. He says, greetings and hallucinations from sunny Minot, North Dakota. Where is it here? He says, I'm on my way to NDSU Bison Homecoming. I watched the RP show for the best dating advice and the only daytime CFL coverage. And he says, ladies, I'm still single. Look him up. Stephen, that's with a PH, Jacobson. All O's. Still single, and he's looking for a bride. Oh, and he wants to know Moose's opinion if the Bisons will win this weekend. Oh, NDSU and Manitoba. Okay, we'll carry that over into Hour 2. Todd B. In Red Deer says if the idea of the hash mark rules was to improve the offense, and for those that don't know, the Canadian Football League narrowed its hash marks by how much, folks? Was it 4 yards or 8 yards they narrowed it? It was quite a bit. He says, if the idea of the hash mark rules was to improve the offense, why not just put the ball in the center of the field on first and second down? Kicks would still have to be made from the angle. Dude, we just got through 9 rule changes last year. Stop talking about rule changes this year. Please. From Steve Nees, he's in Saskatoon, and he says on the 902 text line, can the Rough Riders stay away from the Mexican food in Winnipeg? Well, I remember the last time they were there, they got stomped 54-20, and I didn't know what to believe. The stories coming out of that were that they went to a Mexican restaurant and they got violently ill. And then we heard, no, we had the flu before we even left Regina. Guys in Regina had the flu. Okay, whatever it was the flu. Why they lost to Winnipeg, and so badly, 54-20. And then they lose to Edmonton on the Friday night, 26-24. So where'd they eat then? Very interesting game tonight for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and, of course, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But that magic number for the Riders is 3, and we'll get into this more probably next hour with Moose and talking Dolphins and Tua with Alain Poupart from Sports Illustrated. Last minute of play in Hour 1. Very interesting game. I mean, they all are, but if they get smashed tonight, what does that do to their magic number? What does that do to their playoff chances? Crossing over, what does it do for their own confidence? How badly do they get beat? What if they lose their star quarterback? Because then they are officially done. Cody Fajardo represents their only chance of winning, similarly to Connor Bedard and the Regina Pats. Hey, here's Arlen Bruce III. He says, hey, RP and Moose, I told you Teddy Bridgewater would play before Week 8. But he says, anyways, would you consider having your show at Park Casino next to the Canucks Arena? I have a connection. Of course, we want to go to Vancouver, and we want to go to Toronto. So contact our COO. We got a lot of comments here. We'll get to them next hour. And Tua Talk. Stick around, everybody, after this break on Game Plus and WQEE.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
First game of the week is the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Bombers are favored by 8. Are you taking the deal or not?
I'm taking the deal.
Deal for me, too. I think Winnipeg will beat them by 8 or more. Ottawa Red Blacks. They're at the BC Lions. And BC is favored by 7.5. The head coach of BC is 3-0 against the team that fired him. The BC is favored by 7.5. Deal or no deal?
I'm going to take the deal.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Daytime sports talk. It is hour 2 when we roll into it. Yes, we're on Game Plus television across all 10 provinces in Canada, 31 U.S. states, and now on the radio in Atlanta, WQEE. We're going to jump right into this because our guest right off the top of hour 2 doesn't have a lot of time. We can bring him in now. Alain Poupart from Sports Illustrated covers the Dolphins. For those that don't know, I'm just going to read the story here. Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa suffered a second frightening injury in 5 days when he was carted off the field in Thursday night's 27-15 loss in Cincinnati. There's more, Alain. I'm not going to read it. Everybody knows it. Thank you for the time and jumping in on short notice. I'm not going to keep you long. What do we know today about the status of Tua, and what were your thoughts on what went down last night and this crazy week?
Okay, let me start with what we know right now is apparently all the testing in the Cincinnati hospital, University of Cincinnati Medical Center came back clean. He does have a concussion. No great surprise there. Flew back with the team last night. We were meeting with head coach Mike McDaniel a little bit later in the afternoon. Perhaps we'll get more detail. He's got more tests to undergo. It's also possible that there'll be nothing more on his status at this particular time. As far as the reaction, well, I think my reaction was pretty much the same as everybody. It's just frightening is what it was. And the crazy part about it is if you look at the hit and the play, it wasn't anything like outrageous that you don't see happen on a fairly frequent basis in the NFL. So it brings the question, and of course now the big debate is, should he have been in the lineup in the first place? Did he actually sustain a concussion and not a back injury in the game against Buffalo on Sunday? All sorts of questions. The NFLPA is looking into whether the concussion protocols were followed as they should have been. That's probably going to take a couple of weeks before they come back with their findings. The early indication from them that they gave to the Washington Post was that it looked as though everything was followed according to the protocols. And then there's a question as to whether those protocols are actually sufficient enough to prevent situations like we've had right now.
So you covered it well. And that's why I brought you on to talk about it, because I could talk about it all day. You're the expert. You're the insider. How do you feel for Tua? You've been covering him since his rookie year. Talk about that and the fact that, from what I understand, he played Thursday because he doesn't want a rep of being an injured guy. And then this happened.
Yeah, and that's part of it. And that's the issue is you're looking at Tua. This is a big year for him. He's had eyeballs on him ever since he joined the Dolphins in 2020 as the 5th overall pick. His first 2 years didn't go particularly well. The Dolphins did a really good job this offseason of putting everything in place for him to succeed. From the hiring of head coach Mike McDaniel, who is a true Tua believer, who has talked about his confidence in Tua constantly, to new teammates doing the same, with teammates now being Tua now being a captain, to an offensive scheme that is quarterback friendly and that maximizes what Tua does best, which is getting the ball out quickly and being accurate, generally on short to intermediate passes. And he's had it rolling. And now this happens. And this is a key season for him because this is his 3rd year. Next offseason, the Dolphins are eligible for the first time to sign him to a long-term contract extension if they wish to do so. And that was a question mark as to whether they would do that heading into the season, unlike, for example, in Cincinnati and in LA, where it's clear that the Bengals are going to do that with Joe Burrow, the Chargers are going to do that with Justin Herbert. There was this question mark with Tua heading into the season based on performance. The questions about performance have certainly, if not completely disappeared, severely dissipated. But there's also been the issue of, is he durable enough to be somebody that you throw a ton of money to on a long-term contract? And right or wrong, he's been hurt every year he's been in the NFL, and he was hurt in college as well. And this is just a continuation of that, unfortunately. And then you have the issue of Tua certainly being a guy who doesn't want to come out of the game because he wants to show that he's durable. And was that a contributing factor in this whole episode? Who knows? That is certainly.
We've gone 5. No, you're good. We've gone 5 minutes. Can you answer one more? We're on your time here.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Just simply the furor from the Players Alumni, the Players Association, concussion experts. Mike, I can't believe the tidal wave. I guess I should get used to that. You're not surprised, it looks like, coming out of this.
No, not at all. And the problem is the optics of the injury against Buffalo were so bad. I mean, I'm no doctor, but sure looked like a concussion to me. I mean, the guy, you can see on the replay his head hitting the surface, and then he gets up. The first thing he does actually is he puts both hands on his helmet, and then he starts walking and he wobbles. I've never had a back injury in a football game, so I don't know if it would cause my knees to buckle like that. So that's part of the optics that make the whole situation so bad. Now, there's only a handful of people who actually evaluated him on that day. But there's a whole lot of speculation from people from the outside based on what they've seen. So I don't know. I've taken the approach of I cannot imagine for the life of me that doctors or neurologists would send him back in the game if they had even an inkling that he had sustained a concussion on that day. And the other part of it is I have a hard time believing that he did not sustain a concussion based on what my eyeballs told me.
Alain, fantastic analysis. We will let you go. I'll direct all our viewers to your stuff. Thanks for this, man. And hey, have a great weekend. Keep it up.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rod.
Alain Poupart, he's got his Expos hat on. Everybody loves that. As you could tell, he is I think a Francophone. We'll ask him next time. You can follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL, Poupart NFL. He's the publisher of All Dolphins for the Sports Illustrated Fan Nation Network and a Pro Football Writers Association member. And he also follows the Florida Panthers, covers the Florida Panthers for NHL.com, who, by the way, lost 5-2 last night in NHL preseason play to the Carolina Hurricanes. And if we want to talk about that, I'm game. Let's bring the Moose in now, if we can. I think I told him about 10 after we were ready for him. Yeah, he's there. There he is there. And so I will jump back into the viewers in a second. I will say we did cover one heck of a lot of CFL stuff in hour one because it is a football Friday. Jennifer from the Four Seasons writes in, she says, common sense would have not put him back in. It's ridiculous. And I'll get to the CFL comments later on probably, but we're not in viewer takeover now. It's in me and Moose time now. So did what Alain just say change your mind at all? Or could this guy, like, he covers the Dolphins like white on rice, as they say. He's all over the Dolphins, man.
Yeah.
So what did you think about that?
No, and, good insight for sure. And it'll be interesting to see how Mike McDaniel addresses the media. He said they're going to be doing that here shortly today. So I'll be interested to see the Mike McDaniel's press conference. Don't watch every press conference from every coach in the NFL, but I'll be watching this one this afternoon once it gets posted, or live if I can. But, the viewer just said, common sense would have been to take him out. We don't always err on the side of caution because this isn't your workplace. Like, this isn't a traditional workplace. This isn't your house and your kids. This is a highly, highly, highly competitive environment where the Miami Dolphins are trying to win football games and keep pace in an ultra competitive AFC. And these windows only open up so often. So you have to understand a little bit of why they put him back in and blur the line a little bit when winning is so important. Your job security is so fragile and all the rest. I mean, you do want to be safe, but you're not just going to err on the side of caution and say, look, if you're close to being, you're out. If you you bumped your head, you're out, right? We have to go through lots of protocol because we have to do everything we can to get them into the game. But in this situation, I think all the signs did point to he probably shouldn't have been playing.
902-518-3033 to join the discussion. And I will turn it over to some of the viewers now. Sean in Vancouver watching. He says, in regards to the Tua injury and the doctors, common sense isn't very common. And we do have some CFL comments coming in, so I will get to those in a moment. But I tried 1 hour ago to relate to folks because I don't know what they see. I don't know what the fans see. Maybe you can tell me more what they're seeing because I don't really understand it. I know how it looks from the inside, and I told you guys this in the morning meeting, and I'll say it again. I was driving home from the Panthers game last night, the hockey game, listening to WQAM. Joe Rose, the color guy, the Carm Terry of Miami is really what he is. I meant to say this. To go across the country for CFL fans, Joe Rose would be like the Mitch Zelnowski. He's the Winnipeg Carm. The Mitch Zelnowski of Miami. Okay, played for the team, on the radio, does the color. He would be like Miami's Pete Martin for you Argos fans. Played for the Argos, president of the alumni, but on the radio. And he also does the morning show. It's unreal. The guy's 65 years old, there. So I'm thinking about this. As I was driving to the coffee shop this morning, Brooklyn Water Bagel, Joe's on there in the studio. I'm like, dude, I went to bed before the game was over. You still called the rest of the game, did the post-game show, flew home to Miami from Cincinnati, and you're up on the air at 6 in the morning? There's a guy that loves his job. But on the air today, he said they had to sign a waiver saying traveling with the Dolphins that you wouldn't repeat anything that goes on the plane or around road trips. And I never had to sign NDA, I guess would be what it amounts to. But I'm like, that's how tense this stuff is. Did Tua come home at all? And if he came home, did he come home with the team? And you know what I mean? Like, everybody's just so antsy around this situation. It's unbelievable. And I want to say, too, I had that first responder who might be watching right now. He's from Vancouver. He's like, when Tua's fingers were all knotted up, there was a sign of severe brain trauma. Do you feel like we can't believe anything the Dolphins are saying now? Because your owner's suspended right now for a litany of things, you kind of wonder what you can believe from the organization, do you not?
Yeah, which makes Mike McDaniel's press conference to me so intriguing because he's new to this organization. He's new blood, and he has a chance to set the culture here and the tone. Now, he didn't do it. He let the quarterback play, listed him as a starter on his depth chart, right? So obviously he thought he was fine. He's going to go to his doctors and say, can he play? Is he okay? And if they say he's cleared, he's not going to have any further brain injury, he can go play, then Mike McDaniel's hands are clean. He can still decide not to play the quarterback, though. He can still make that choice. So I'll be interested. They're going to ask him those questions. So I'll be curious because you're right. From the top down, you have a little bit of trouble believing the Miami Dolphins just based on recent history.
I just see it. It doesn't matter the league or the level. I see it everywhere because it's the Miami Dolphins. You know, it's the Dolphins, man.
Yeah.
They wouldn't lie. That's what the fans think. You know, I got my phone blown up with stuff across the CFL and stuff that's going on. And I'm like, that's, again, Joe Rose, what he's doing. I've lived that life. And I'm like, good on you, man. I hope you're getting paid a lot of money. Because to me, it really wasn't worth it. And, you know, I just want to say this about leadership and culture. Doesn't have to be a sports thing. But last year when the Dolphins were sucking and lost 7 in a row, remember what I said on this show? This team's been awful for decades. Decades, Miami. And I think there's a little bit of karma to do with that, a little bit of bad management to do with that. And meanwhile, you got Stan Kroenke over here, owner of the Super Bowl right now with his Rams, the Stanley Cup with his Colorado Avalanche, because the guy clearly does things right. And it goes right from the top, right from the top, right from the top.
How about
winning
that?
And losing. When are they going to get it? Anyways, you were saying?
Well, no, it does. Just to build off that, it comes right from the top. And, you know, as I'm kind of dipping my toes still, it's only been a few years in the business world. You know, one of the pieces of advice that's kind of rings true is don't make decisions that you wouldn't be comfortable appearing on the front page of tomorrow's newspaper. Now, that might not make sense to the kids who don't read newspapers, but every decision you make, you should be comfortable that if it got plastered on the front page of the news, that you'd be okay with everybody knowing. Feels like the curtain's being pulled back.
Give me an example. Give me an example.
Well, people you hire, people you fire, contracts you take, contracts you don't take, you know, any information you get, you know, it's about transparency. And where you're starting to see the curtain being pulled back on leadership and ownership in sports and in business, you look at what's happened with the Miami Dolphins. Go to the NBA. All you have to do is look at the recent Boston Celtics situation with what's been going on there, sexual harassment and affairs and things like the Boston Celtics, and you get a year-long suspension. We're talking about other organizations in professional sports where ownership is being taken away from owners in the NBA based on racist behavior and things like that. So you have to now operate your organization with class and integrity, or you're not going to have it for a long time.
I'm cool with, when we come back, turning it over to the viewers. It's been pretty heavy today, but it's a heavy day in the world of sports with what's happened with Tua. And like I say, it transcends the NFL to the CFL to all levels of football and contact sport. Grant in Kelowna, BC has sent me a photo. I don't know. Yeah, Clark, why not? We'll put it on when we come back, the photo Grant has sent us, because it's game day for his Riders. Said, looking for a crossover. Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Grey Cup, 109th championship would be so special. Maybe we'll delve into that. Why has no team ever crossed over and gone to the Grey Cup? Why is that? You're more of a football guy than me. Think about that in the next 4 minutes, Moose. Canada West. We got to play Deal or No Deal, too, for the NFL, for Bet Regal.
Yes.
So we got a lot to get to. It's the RP Show, Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
As you can see, order has been restored to South Florida, looking in at the beautiful Florida Keys. And moving into what should be a very fun weekend. Moose, let's do this. Pick up where we left off, then we'll get into deal or no deal. I appreciate the comments from the viewers. Just everybody agreeing with me that it does start at the top. Thanks. I didn't come up with it. I've just seen it. Right? How's the lighting, by the way? Is it a little darker here an hour or two? Does it have to do with the sun going around the side of the house, or are you happy with the look of the show right now? Okay.
Well, I told you I like this look, but yeah, the sun came through. It just looks so beautiful in the beginning, and then it's got a little darker at the end, but nothing bad.
If I can move the sun, I'll work on it.
How about that?
Dale Berazuk in Winnipeg writes in and says, good afternoon, all. Always great to enjoy the show. Jack and I are taking the day to learn a lot. We wish you all our best. Bombers game. Jeep is washed. We're doing great. Be safe, all. I like the report, Dale. I like to hear that. So, realistically, Saskatchewan, if they make the playoffs, and they would really have to have the bottom fall out to not make the playoffs. That's a fact, as you know. But they're looking at fourth. Because they're not in the caliber of Winnipeg, Calgary, and BC. They're just not. So they're going to be crossing over. And they'll be playing Montreal and Toronto if things stand up the way that they are. Why do you, and I've been parts of teams, by the way, that have crossed over. Many times. We did it in 03, 05. Shoot. I'm sorry. I think 02, we went to Toronto with the Riders. 05, we went to Montreal with the Riders. Quite a few times. 2017 is the one everybody remembers, the East Final. Riders and Argos, and didn't make it. Never made it. Nobody's ever made it. Why do you think that is?
It's worth a 30 for 30 on why they have it, or an East 60 on why it hasn't happened. Because, it comes back to, well, how come the records aren't better in the East? Why is the West so much better than the East? And people say, well, it's more football mad out here. Well, all the guys running football teams aren't from out here. They're from Tennessee and Texas and California and Florida and Mississippi and wherever else in the U.S., So that doesn't matter to them if they're in Toronto or Calgary or Winnipeg or Hamilton or Montreal. It doesn't make them run the teams any differently. But we talk about the travel going all the way across to the East, staying out there. I mean, you do have to win 2 games out there to get to the Grey Cup, usually with no break in between. So that's tough on players. That's tough. Your training isn't the same. Your meals aren't the same. Nothing's the same. So that's probably the biggest factor, is just that travel out there. But we got to remember, those are good football teams, too, that have made the playoffs. Just because the records aren't, what Winnipeg's is, or BC or Calgary, they're good football teams. And they've got a lot of talented players. So the odds are going to be against you going out there as the third-ranked team in the East Division.
Well, they'll always say nobody's ever done it until somebody does. And that's all that Saskatchewan can hang on to. They have to hang on to that. They have to fight for that. Well, Wayne in BC says, how come the East never has crossed over to the West? That's a math thing. Don't ask me to explain why the East has been garbage for decades. I don't know. We've had that discussion. You just brought it up. I floated the theory that football means more in Western Canada or the prairies, and that's why. But if that was the case, a Canadian NHL team would be a Stanley Cup winner, let alone contender, over the last 30 years, because it does mean infinitely more in Canada. So I don't know the answer to that. Nelson Hackowich, by the way, says the Rough Riders go 2-2 down the stretch based on 10,000 simulations. So, and he goes, and one of those is based on Calgary resting guys because they've clinched. So, there you go. You ready to play Deal or No Deal?
I am ready.
Okay, this is the NFL edition, Deal or No Deal, for our betting partner, Bet Regal. And I'll say it one more time. Our biggest sponsor is a betting company, Bet Regal. And God bless them, by the way. They're probably watching right now. They've never told me what to say. Ever. Nobody really does, except for the viewers. They said, Rod, you talk about whatever you want. It's just be entertaining. But let's be honest. They know where the money's spent. It's the National Football League. It's college football. You can wager on the other leagues. It's just not. It's a population thing. So anyways, Bengals, what did we say last night? By the way, they were favored by 4 going in. And they won by 12. The odds makers know what they're doing. Whatever they're doing down there in Costa Rica, Moose, they know. And by the way, we don't necessarily need analysis of every game, just whether you're taking the bet or not, because we're up against it on time a little bit. Minnesota at New Orleans. The Vikings are favored by 3.5 on the road. Deal or no deal?
I'll take the deal.
I'm taking the deal as well. Saints seem to be missing something. The Cleveland Browns at our Atlanta Falcons, because the RP Show is your number one source for Atlanta Falcons news and information here on WQEE. Browns favored by 1 at the Falcons. Deal or no deal?
I'm taking the deal. If you would have given me 3.5, I would have taken the Falcon.
I'm not. I think the Falcons, nobody's told the players you're supposed to tank it, guys. They're better than people think. They won in Seattle last week. I think they're going to beat Cleveland this week. And the GM Fontenot's going to be going, no! Buffalo at Baltimore. The Bills are favored by 3 on the road. I can't figure out this AFC North. I know the Bills are in the East, but geographically they're North. I don't know what's going on in the black and blue division, but the Bills are favored by 3 at Baltimore. Deal or no deal?
Yeah, I'll take the deal. They're going to have a get-right game.
Okay. Washington Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys. America's team favored by 3.5. Deal or no deal?
Color me a Cooper Rush fan. I'll take the deal.
I'm taking the deal too, and I'll see that and raise you. Riverboat Ron Rivera will be the first coach fired in the National Football League this year.
Ooh.
Seattle Seahawks at the Detroit Lions. Lions favored by 3.5 at Ford Field. Deal or no deal?
You got a deal there too. The Lions are favorite. They're a favorite team right now.
I'm taking the Lions to cover that 3.5 spread. Los Angeles Chargers at the Houston Texans. I haven't heard Justin Herbert's status. I'm assuming he's playing. Chargers favored by 5 at Houston. Deal or no deal?
No deal. Till Justin Herbert's healthy, no deal.
Okay. A classic AFC South battle. The Tennessee Titans are at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are favored by 3.5 at home. Deal or no deal?
It's at home, so I'll take the deal. It's at home, I'll take the deal.
I'm going to take the Titans to get right and beat the spread and win on the road. Ye of little faith, you. The Chicago Bears at the New York Giants, a classic NFC battle. Giants are favored by 3. My buddy Chris Sanford, his Giants, now 2-1. They're favored by 3 at home over the Bears. Deal or no deal?
Deal. I just saw Justin Fields has the least passing yards of anybody in the NFL.
Okay. Well, they do have a win. I'll take the deal as well. Giants too. I talked to Chris Sanford this morning. We're going to PDQ Chicken within the next 2 weeks. Jacksonville at Philadelphia. Eagles, not surprisingly, favored by 6.5. A lot of people saying they're the best team in the NFC. Eagles favored by 6.5 at home over Jacksonville. Deal or no deal?
I'll take it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville won.
I'm not taking the deal. I think Jax will at least beat the spread. New York Jets at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whatever. I was talking to a guy, big Jets fan yesterday. He's like, whatever the odds makers say, go with it in any Jets game. So we're taking the Steelers. I am to beat them by 3.5 or more. You?
Yeah. Zach Wilson's back for the Jets, but I'll still take the Steelers.
Don't matter. By the way, it was the guy that sold me this new mic stand right here. Kenny from Guitar Center.
He's the Jets fan?
Big Jets fan. Yeah. Arizona at Carolina. The Panthers favored by 1. Deal or no deal?
No deal. No, I'll take Arizona.
I will take the deal because I'm a Baker fan. New England Patriots at the Green Bay Packers. Packers favored by 9.
Deal.
Vincent Donaldson played for both those teams, by the way, the Patriots and the Packers. I'm sure he'll be in a glass case of emotion on Sunday. You're taking the deal, Packers by 9. I will too. Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. 2 very disappointing teams out of the gate. Raiders favored by 2.5. Deal or no deal?
No deal. There's something wrong there. No deal.
And the Monday Night Football. I will not take the deal either. Rams at the Niners. Monday night. Niners favored by 1.5 at home. Deal or no deal?
Yeah, you give me a home team less than a field goal, I'll take the home team. Yeah.
I think the Rams are going to go in there and win, but that's just my take. That's deal or no deal. We ask you folks not for a lot. We don't ask you for a lot here on the RP show, but what I'm asking you to do is if you're wagering on games this weekend, go to Bet Regal. At the very least, go there and sign up. You can play for free. Click on Play Free Sportsbook and create an account. Tell them the RP show sent you. My cousin Christine is watching in Medicine Hat. And she says, today I'll be watching NCAA women's hockey, Blue Jays, and Riders. Great day. It is a great day. Again, our COO Lee is just all hot and heavy about the Blue Jays clinching a playoff berth. And yes, it's a big deal. But it's Football Friday, and we've had a lot to get to today. And well, we got some time to talk about the Blue Jays. There's another week left in the regular season, a little more. Haven't even talked college football. Arlen Bruce III says NCAA number 4, Michigan versus Iowa. Saturday morning, Big Ten conference game. Watch out for my son, Arlen Bruce IV, number 10 for the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think College Game Day's going there. Are they not, AB? I think they are.
I think they
and
might.
By the way, this guy, this guy was here. He was the original AB. Okay? Arlen Bruce, the original AB. The guy that's now staying in Tom's guest house, Antonio Brown. He might be sleep. No, never mind. He might not have to be in the guest house anymore. What I'm saying is Tom's sleeping alone.
Oh, my God.
What?
Anybody else see the giant iguana climbing the screen behind you? Look over your right shoulder. At your other right.
That's what I live with.
Oh, you
Listen
went
to
down.
that thing. Yeah. Dude,
Ricky is in the building.
Ricky the iguana is in the building.
He's big.
Oh man, you have no idea what you have. It's what I tell you. I don't exaggerate.
When I get down there, it's going to be like seeing my nieces and nephews. You guys have grown. Oh my God.
These things run around like crazy. You can't keep your patio doors open, your Line A doors open. These suckers will, nook and cranny their way in. It's unreal. There's Ricky. He just showed up. Stephen in North Dakota says, awesome show. What will the world do Saturday and Sunday till the RP show returns Monday? Go back and watch old shows. That's what I would suggest. Jordan Moraz, watching on YouTube, says, Winnipeg should give up on the Jets and support the number 1 ranked CHL team, the Winnipeg Ice. How about cheering for them all? Is that an option? Is that something you might be interested in? It's interesting comparing Winnipeg fans where they are now compared to where they were last year at this time. Remember when James Patrick came out? I'm going to pause because we have Wacey Rabbit's ready to go, and Wacey's going to come in next to talk National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. We'll pick this up in overtime, okay?
You bet.
All right, Wacey Rabbit joins us next. Friend of the show. It's the RP show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of prime. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP show continues. It is a football Friday, but more importantly, in Canada, it's National Truth and Reconciliation Day. And obviously, you've heard a lot of it, but not a lot about it from this show. And in a second, we're going to bring on our good friend Wacey Rabbit of the Saskatoon Blades coaching staff. But for those that don't know, the Truth and Reconciliation process seeks to heal relations between opposing sides by uncovering all pertinent facts, distinguishing truth from lies, and allowing for acknowledgement, appropriate public mourning, forgiveness, and healing. So I can't wait to talk to Wacey Rabbit about this and other things. Proud member of the First Nations community, of course, the recovery community with me. We got Wacey from the Blades facility, where they're off to a 2-0 start. And Wacey, thanks for the time, man. It's always good to see you. I know you're a busy guy here today and the days leading up to it. But can I ask you what this day and the term truth and reconciliation means to you personally?
Well, first off, Rod, thank you for having me on. Always got time for you. And it is a special day. You know, it is a day off for everybody. It's not a holiday. I can only speak on behalf of myself. And I think it's important that I acknowledge that, you know, I'm here because my grandparents were residential school survivors. My dad's a residential school survivor. My uncles are residential school survivors. So, you know, today is about honoring them and, you know, the kids that didn't make it home. You know, there's 32, there's about 3,200 unmarked graves that have been unaccounted for. And my home community of Kainai and Pikani have just started the process of, you know, doing their count. And so, you know, you talk about truth and reconciliation, and it's a day of honoring those still suffering from, you know, intergenerational trauma and, you know, honoring those that did not make it home.
Well, that's why I asked. And to be honest with you, when these unmarked graves were discovered the last couple of years, that's what, because you know that my relations with the First Nations community are deep and they're long, but I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all. when did you start to know your people's history that had not been reported and was not out there? Were you become aware of that as a child?
I think I've always known, like, it was never talked about. So again, like my dad has never shared his story with the residential schools, my grandparents, but we knew of, the effects that it had just through, it was almost like horror stories. I know, like, there's schools on my community where we would talk about, don't go around that area because there's ghosts, and those ghosts were the kids that didn't make it home. And that's all over Canada and all over North America. But when the truth did come out, and they I think it happened a couple of years in Kamloops, it was, there was no hiding, because that was our truth. That was our history, and it's sad. And now that it's out there, it's, it brings up a lot of trauma for my family, and, it's a tough day today. So, I'm glad that I get to share, part of the story, because part of sharing is healing and people understanding, and it's about empathy. And, everybody has a different background. They come from different places in Canada, but we were First Nations, and we were here before contact. And it's important that, we understand each other, but also recognize the history of Canada and the good and the bad.
For sure, Wacey. And the thing is, shortly after the Kamloops discovery was Cowessess. And, it didn't matter where it was, but that was just down the road from us. And I was golfing with the chief. And you talk about trauma and how upset he was. And I'm like, I just found out. When did you know? And he's like, we've always known. So what did that do for your people? I guess it's good that it's out in the open, but how has that helped? I would assume it's helped, but how are you dealing with it as a community?
Well, truth always does hurt. On both sides, on the Canadian, for non-Indigenous people, that, there's denial, or there's, it's not easy to acknowledge something that, was so atrocious and that happened. But at the same time, the truth for us, it's kind of being set free of that, our healing journey can start now. It's nice that they acknowledge, that the healing process is starting, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. And there's how many First Nations across Canada that, the people know that there are still children that never made it home. They're still, in the ground that weren't unaccounted for. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's not going to, you don't put on your orange shirt on September 30th and then all of a sudden October 1st comes and, we move on with our lives. It's still going to live with us for the rest of the time. And that's going to be Canada's history. So it's important that, as non-Indigenous people like yourself that are allies to us, is understanding and empathy. And, we walk together in healing. And, that's basically what today is all about.
Well, and the thing is, I get it, and I mentioned your recovery side of your story. There's a lot of healing, Wacey, for you to do, and you're still healing. I know that. But I get so mad when I hear Sober October or Bell Let's Talk Mental Health Day. I'm like, it's an everyday thing. So I guess my question to you is, how can people like myself help your people moving forward? This is a new holiday, if that's the correct term for it. But as you said, it's not just a day to wear a shirt and not go to school. How can we help you guys?
Well, I think, for me personally, I'm not like as, I'm not the one that you should be asking. There are stuff online. There's the Orange Shirt Day. If you just Google that, there'll be things that you can go to different organizations that, supporting Indigenous, organizations, reading up, understanding about the actual history, and, just doing what we're doing. We're having a conversation. Someone's going to hear this and someone's going to understand. And that's where it starts, is conversation. And I'm sure everybody in Canada knows somebody that's Indigenous. So that person that you probably know that's Indigenous has probably been affected by the residential schools. I mean, you don't have to ask and go up, but I'm coming from understanding that if you want to start a conversation, that this is what we're doing, and that's part of it.
Yeah, excellent answer. And the thing for you, Wacey, is, has it dawned on you yet, the leader that you are for your community, what it means It's not easy for you to stand up there and do these interviews, and you're carrying the recovery flag, too. At some point, you've obviously said, I can do this. And I'm proud of you for that. But how does it feel to be the guy doing these interviews here today?
Well, I mean, I obviously, like, when I first started doing these interviews, I didn't want to say the wrong thing. But it is my experience. So no matter what I say, that's my experience. There's no right or wrong. And I'm speaking for, for the ones that didn't have a voice. I can't speak on every First Nations experience, but it's no different from mine and my family's. The intergenerational trauma has touched from my great-grandparents to my grandparents to my parents, and now down to me. And hopefully our next generation doesn't have to experience what has been such a dark history in my family, and then every other family now of Canada. So there is being I guess with being a role model or a leader is that you take on those burdens, but I'm doing it for the ones that didn't have a voice, and I'm hopefully that I can represent them and my family proudly, and that's all I really am at the end of the day, is representing myself and my family.
Well, you are. And as you say, there is no wrong answer. And I guess that, for people like us, I didn't know. When this came out a couple of years ago, it's like, didn't know. What can we do for you? And you answered that very well. Just lastly, we only have a minute left. The Blades are off to a great start. Big Hogan game Saturday night. So that's going well for you too, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. A lot of nostalgia. But it is so great to be back in the city, and we should have a very strong team. It'll be interesting. We have a good division, a lot of really good teams. But the community of Saskatoon came out for our home opener and supported our young men, and they're excited to play in front of them, and we hope to put on a good show.
Well, good luck this weekend and the rest of the season. Wacey, so super proud of you. Keep it up, my man, and thanks for the time today.
Appreciate it, Rod. Thank you for having me on.
We will be right back. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, here we go. One final time. For the week, it's overtime for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. I appreciate them over there at the Four Seasons, both George, the owner, proprietor, Jennifer, she chimes in every day. They are your home for the National Football League and the UFC. If we can bring the Moose in, it is viewer takeover. We had some very nice comments come in here, Moose, regarding the interview with Wacey Rabbit. If you don't mind, I'll read a few of them here. Ken Friedman says 50 years ago, Team Canada united the country. This wasn't even on the radar. He's talking about the Truth and Reconciliation. Today, in some ways, people are divided, but I think this one issue unites us all. Somehow we need to make this right. If we all do our part, it would make a huge difference. Don, our Navy friend, says, I'm a history nerd, so I knew about the residential schools and the deaths when I was in my teens, late 70s, but it was never taught at school. It wasn't. Kevin, the medium, says, Rod, good for you to tackle this tough topic on a sports show. I appreciate you and the courage it takes to do it. No. Wasn't even my idea. It was our crew. Like, we got to bring some First Nations people on this. It wasn't my idea. And good on Wacey, and thank God we're longtime friends on that, Moose. He's always ready to step up. And from my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat, she says, I wish you and your family the best. To Wacey, obviously. Okay, Moose, there are sports questions here, but before we delve into those, I want to know, what's your sports weekend up to? Or your weekend overall? What's your weekend going to look like here?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to kind of relax tonight a little bit. And then tomorrow have the Rams game with Alberta in town. So Alberta and Regina, that's a 1:00 start. So I'm probably going to miss a little bit of that college football in the morning. And then Sunday, I'm going to get an NFL Sunday. So that's going to be exciting.
Nice. Well, like I say, I believe that College Game Day is going to be in Iowa there, where Arlen Bruce the 4th is playing. So that's exciting. Tune it in. It's the one sucky thing about living in the Eastern time zone. You got to wait so late for these shows to come on. I think it comes on at 9. You guys out there get it at 7. No. You're so lucky. Regarding sports teams, and let's be honest, corporations with a bad culture, where it starts, I can't say it enough. At the top, Rob, watching in Cold Lake, Alberta, says, hi, Rod, a fish smells from the head down. Signed, Rob in Cold Lake. Yep. Dougal in Calgary says, regarding the CFL playoff picture, he says, if you are the 6th seed, you are the 6th seed. You are what you are. That's a good point. The reason the team that has crossed over has never advanced to the Grey Cup is they're not that good, which I think you were alluding to yourself. Willie Jefferson's going to bring his game. He's got his game on. If you see any of Willie's social media today, and he does such a great job. I don't know if it's Willie on his own or not. Probably is, but it might be Holly. But he said, he posted something along the lines of, when you got your foot on their neck, ... you snap it. That's how they feel about the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Their foot's on their neck. We're going to snap their necks. That's why they've won the last 2 championships, okay?
Yeah.
Steve Nees writes in, he says, if I hope I'm saying that right, Steve Nees, he says, I respect you, Roddy, and the Moose. He says, the Dahmer is disturbing. Are we going to wind up the week? Oh, and a shout out to the Brendan McGuire family. They're watching. He sent me a photo of their living room right now watching the RP show. I can only imagine it's on Game Plus television. I'll have to. Oh, it looks like they're watching on YouTube, and that's fine too. I want to tell you, I asked you your weekend. Here's mine. It's happening again. Talked about it this morning in my 12-step meeting. In that, I'm getting invited to a lot of places. You know, I have my 1 game per week rule. Went to the Dolphins last week. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Dolphins and Bills. I went to the Panthers last night. Well, this morning on Miami Sports Radio, they were pumping up tomorrow's Cardinal Gibbons high school football game against, if I got the names right, American Heritage Plantation. That's a town in South Florida, Plantation. Big game. Cardinal Gibbons is picked to lose. That's what the guy blew this morning on WQAM, said they're going to lose. He said, Coach DeBuck's not going to be happy with us. I texted Coach DeBuck. I said, they're talking about you right now. They say you're going to lose tonight. And he's like, I don't listen to him. He goes, I use it for motivation. He goes, by the way, you better come to the game. I'm like, But because of the storm, they moved the game to Saturday at 1. I'm thinking I might go to that game. The FAU Owls hockey team's having a whiteout tonight. They're playing the University of Miami Hurricanes in ice hockey. Moose. But I'm not going. I can't go everywhere. But they asked, are you coming? Are you wearing white? And I'm like, last minute of play in the RP show. I can't be everywhere. When I say it's happening again, now I know I just got to say I can't. But thanks. I tried to be everywhere before, and it drove me nuts. Dub tonight, PA at Moose Jaw, Winnipeg at Swifty, Medicine Hat at Lethbridge, Kelowna at Prince George, Try at Everett, Victoria at Vancouver, Canada West football, UBC at Calgary tonight, Manitoba at Sask, and Moose will have the call of the Rams and the Golden Bears on Saturday. 5 games in college football tonight, 2 in the CFL. I'll be watching those. Blue Jays home to Boston. Sports is back, baby. But you got to provide a negative COVID test if you're going to the World Cup in Qatar. Moose, have fun.
Great weekend, everybody.
See you Monday, noon Eastern on Game Plus.
Who has more fun than us?
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.